Big news today on the Game to Love podcast. Rafael Nadal out of the US Open. So yeah, we probably better tackle the biggest news, even though I don't think it's really that huge a news. I think we already saw the writing was on the wall, really. Rafael Nadal out of the US Open. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, but was it on the wall? Because I thought he was playing in the tournament before the US Open, and that was on hard court.
I think he was just penciled in. From what I've heard, and he was just keeping his name in the draw just in case, but he can always leave the draw whenever he wanted. So he just left the draw. Probably he's not going to play Cincinnati, I'm guessing. There's no, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's huge news, like you say. No Nadal, no Federer. The first time neither of them have played in a Grand Slam since 1999.
Wow. We're going back a millennium.
Yeah, and I think I saw it earlier. I think in 1999, Federer played in the qualifying round.
Yeah,
and he didn't get through. I think it was the second qualifying. He got knocked out, so he didn't qualify for the tournament. And Nadal was only 13 years old, so I think we can excuse Nadal.
That's it. That was when he was world number one, wasn't it?
No. But yeah, no, that's mental, man. Neither of them playing a Grand Slam. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Djokovic is going to be there. The whole list is there. There's still some really good players. I think you've got Thiem, Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Zverev. So it's wide open. And I think it's a really good chance for one of them sort of outside guys who in the past haven't really particularly done great at slams to have a chance. Obviously, Thiem recently, he's been right up there. Yeah, he's not quite been able to do it because he's always playing two of the big three. Now, worst case, all of them have only got to play one, and that's going to be Novak. And we're not sure what form Novak's going to be in coming into this. Obviously, he got Corona himself. I think he's all right. I know he's all right now.
Yeah,
I've seen him. Right. I saw him hitting as well the other day. He seems fine, to be fair.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Novak will be, if not to the top of his game, he'll probably be around 90%. He's got all that experience. He's won 17 Grand Slams. He's probably just going to be relishing this now. He'd probably be training as hard as possible, thinking this is another opportunity just to nick another Grand Slam, one more closer to Fed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Thiem's obviously the main contender. He faced him in the Australian Open final. Thiem's going to be looking to get one over on him this time. But there's other players in the draw who will probably be fancying their chances as well. Because, we haven't even heard of Medvedev playing since, I don't know, this pandemic started. So I don't know what he's doing.
He's been quite quiet, hasn't he?
Yeah, very.
Or anything. Yeah.
So I'm unsure what form he'll be in if he comes back playing again. But we obviously seen Tsitsipas. He's been playing incredible stuff. Yeah. And there's been a few others, which obviously we had Goffin. He's been playing as well.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of those. Felix as well, another top player. Might get to see some young blood in this and going far in the tournament. Zverev as well. Don't forget him. Yeah. He just obviously
Lion. The UTS 2 champion, the Lion.
The Lion.
So obviously we had Berrettini win the first UTS.
The Hammer.
And that's Zverev winning the second. Granted, who did he play? He's not like they're not always the top players. I think he beat Moutet and then he beat Felix in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, still really good players, but it's not the same caliber as like the likes of a Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Thiem, and then obviously Djokovic as well.
Yeah,
and it's when it's at stake as well for actual a big tournament. There's points on the line here, and it's going to be really exciting. I can't wait. Really, I really can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
The Rafael Nadal news. I saw it on Twitter first. I don't know where you saw it. I know you messaged me.
Yeah, it just
I saw actual Rafa. Did you see Rafa's tweet?
No, I didn't see the tweet. It just popped up on the tennis
He was
news.
throwing a bit of shade, to be honest, about the whole schedule. He was talking about how he doesn't deem it safe right now to be travelling.
I just think this is garbage. I just think this is all this is all smoke and mirrors. I don't think he ever intended to play it, to be honest. I know that if the French wasn't moved to where it was, fair enough. Then you could maybe hear an honest opinion. But he knows his best chance is winning another Grand Slams. The French is right after the right after the US Open. Why not just wait out for that, practice a load more clay courts, and just get yourself in full fitness there? All the players coming from the US Open are going to be tired. You can just steamroll everybody.
I forget the exact word he used, but in essence, he was just saying it's a crazy schedule. We've had no tennis for 4 months, and we're just going to have to resume with this crazy schedule. That's basically what he was saying, and it isn't deemed safe for him to be travelling right now to the US.
I mean,
but he's got a point in a way. I stick up for Rafa. The US is just like, what is it? The hotspot of coronavirus right now. It is.
Yeah,
the capital, the coronavirus capital.
He is not wrong about what he says, but it's not going to stop all the rest of the players entering the tournament. So,
no, he didn't. He wasn't saying that. He wished them luck in terms of like he's not. Yeah. I don't think he's being bitter about that. He's just explaining why he's not there.
Yeah, I mean he's got.
And then onto that, another one we should probably talk about. Nick Kyrgios. You see his video?
Dear tennis, let's take a breath here and remember what's important.
Yeah, Nick Kyrgios. He's come out and said that he's now joining the likes of Ashley Barty, another Australian, not travelling over for the tournament.
I will not be playing this year at the US Open.
He was obviously been so vocal with this whole battle on Twitter with Coric, and probably if he was to go now, it would probably look bad on him for just constantly complaining about it. So he probably had to take that stance just to back up what he's been saying.
You can't be dancing on tables, money grabbing your way around Europe. Act responsibly.
I understand. Kyrgios is coming from that viewpoint. A lot of things he's saying is right. However, he went to that nightclub in Canberra.
Canberra.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it wasn't right for him to have done that. So it's just a bit hypocritical. And I don't know why he keeps going on a bit. And this whole video was so dramatic. I'm not sure if it's the right way of doing it. He's literally reading off a script. It's like one of them. I've seen the YouTubers who make a mistake and they have to do like an apology video.
Yeah.
I was getting that type of vibe from what he was doing. It was just all a bit.
I didn't say why it was scripted though.
No, he was reading off a sheet.
I know, that's why I don't understand why he was scripting. Normally he's so fluent with all his words.
I think he should have just come out online and just spoke the way he usually would without like all
probably
the
his management have probably told him to just read off this shit.
I didn't really like it. I thought it was a bit embarrassing. And there was people what I did find quite funny. They were putting the Titanic theme tune to it. Playing it. Oh man, I don't know. What he's saying in essence is right. At the end of the day, it isn't the safest. A lot of players haven't acted that responsible. We'll get on to WTA Palermo at the moment. I hope that looks like they're doing quite well with it. But one of the players come out, I forget who it was, saying it's not that strict. One of them, there's no like rules where they have to like stay in the hotel or the premises. They're travelling around. One of them went to the city centre and then come back to play a game.
Yeah,
so it's not like there's not really that many strict sort of restrictions in place. So we'll see what happens with the upcoming tournaments because tennis is coming thick and fast. We've not had tennis. And there's a lot of tennis coming, Ben.
I noticed on one of the point talking about that tournament, they're obviously having to wear face masks if they have physio come on to give them a massage. Then they put their face mask on, and then the physio's got a face mask on. But then she wanted to eat a banana at the same time while she had her face mask on while she was getting a massage.
Wait, what's this in Italy?
Just whilst the match was going on. So she was having to like slyly pull this mask down and shove a bit of banana in and pull it back up again whilst she's getting a massage.
I've not seen that. That's quality.
It was very bizarre, mate. I just thought, like, is it really going to make that much difference? She had it off for long enough to be able to put it in her mouth. So what's the point? I don't know if it was...
Probably for the cameras. Every time the camera wasn't there, she sneaked some banana and then the thing went back up.
Possible. Obviously, Nick Kyrgios is a bit embarrassed in all of this. You didn't see the same sort of thing coming out from his fellow countrywoman, Ashley Barty. She announced hers a long time ago. And
world number one as well.
World number one not going to be there. But there's some surprise women who are going to be there, aren't there? You like to enlighten people. on who that's going to be?
Well, the big one, it's hard to say the big one's not Serena Williams. Well, but for me, personally, the big one is Andreescu.
Wow, that's incredible.
Not seen much of her at all. And all of a sudden, she's playing in the US Open. And she's got a huge chance. Like we saw last year, she's the reigning champion of the US Open, right?
Yeah, we're big fans of her.
She beat Serena in the final last year.
She did.
And, you can't dismiss it. The fact that she's not played much tennis sort of makes me a bit wary. But she's definitely got the game, and it's going to be really exciting. Obviously, thrown in the mix, you've got Sophia Kenin as well. There's a lot of top players there, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens on the women's tour. I'm probably equally as excited to watch that as the men's.
Yeah, for sure.
To be honest. In fact, maybe a little bit more, because for me, Andreescu is someone who I love watching. I just love her. Like the way she plays is just incredible.
Well,
and I think it's a shame with her injury come when she did, because she has the capability. She could have done very well in the Australian Open for a start. And she has a capability to really push on and become like that, the one everyone fears in the women's game. Because there's not really that one person who's... Obviously, you've had Serena for all these years, but she's sort of fallen off a little bit of... She's not the same Serena as a few years back, right?
Well, that's what makes it exciting.
Good to see. Yeah, so it's going to be really exciting to see what happens in that, for sure.
Corey Goff, she's going to
Corey Goff as well. Yeah, that's amazing.
You never know. She might have been training in the this little hiatus, and might be able to. She might. Well, those younger players, they can probably adapt quicker, and they're obviously not going to be as rusty. They're probably their bones and muscles are going to be a little bit more limber and ready to just go straight back on court and start knocking up. I know what I was like when I was 16. I was able to just run out, knock up, come home, next day, same thing. Now, probably give me a few days rest.
No, Corey Goff's a brilliant one. I'll make a prediction now. I think she could make semi-finals.
Ooh.
I've not had a look at the draw as of yet. I don't think has the draw been released.
No, I don't think.
I'm not seeing the draw, so we'll see where it sort of falls for her. But I feel like she has the capability to do really well, and I reckon we could see like a semi-final performance maybe.
That'd be incredible.
And I put it out there that I'm going for. Obviously, I'm backing Andreescu to win.
It's very wise. It's very wise. For me,
you'll be Kenin. I know you are.
I do really like Ken, but I've not really heard much of what she's been doing over this last few weeks. So I think I'm just going to wait and see the draw, and then I'll make a pick. I can't really say, because there might be still people dropping out before the tournament even starts. So, but yeah, speaking of women's tennis, they're the first professional tennis back on our screens. Tennis returns with WTA Palermo. And
tennis is back. Tennis is back, mate.
Yeah.
You've been watching quite a bit of it, haven't you, on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I've been loving it.
My Prime's expired, so I can't even watch it.
Well, been missing out, mate, I'll tell you, because we've had some absolutely corking matches over, today and yesterday. Today, I don't know if we want to cover yesterday first.
What I do know is the Italians are playing extremely good. I know in the first round, there's been 4 Italians and all 4 have won, so that's pretty impressive. No one can stop the Italians out in Palermo at the moment.
I think that was one of the best matches of that first round. I did actually catch that match, which was Sarah Arani, which versus Costea, Sorana, Michaela Costea. A bit of a mouthful, but yeah, that match, real end-to-end stuff. So she actually started really well, Sarah Rani. First set, she just came out the blocks, took it 7-5. And after the second set, it looked like Costea had literally just taken over 6-1. And you thought maybe she was just going to fade away like older player. But to see the fight still in her, then obviously she's super amazing clay court player. And go down history, one of those great female case.
Yeah, she certainly wasn't the favourite before the match, but for me, she's got a lot of fight, and you can't never rule her off. Experience is very important as well. Like people haven't had this time. People had a lot of time off from tennis.
Yeah, you got to remember that this is somebody though who was a French Open finalist in 2012. So it's not someone. She's no mug on a clay court, and just goes to show she's she's not lost it. So she's just come back and taken out really, really top player in Kirster, who was the favourite to win that. And she turned the tables on her, which was really, commendable. But another thing I've been sort of seeing, like moving away from that, is just a lot of players in this who are maybe the higher seeded players haven't been playing over this hiatus, and they've come up against people who have been playing who are much lower ranked, and you've been seeing some
qualifiers. The qualifiers, I mean, they've been killing it. To be honest, the one qualifier I want to bring up, I know you're probably going to do it anyways, Kyrgios.
Yeah, well, what
I don't know about pronunciation, but I love him, man. Brilliant player, 19 years old, really good, won her qualifying matches. Yeah. And today has beaten Vondrousova, beating the second seed in the tournament, the favourite to win with the bookies.
Yeah.
And, it's incredible. And the way she played in that match showed a lot of fight.
Yeah,
and,
it's incredible. That was my pick of the day before. I don't know if you're following on Instagram. I popped up a little post this morning just saying this is the match to watch, really. And it didn't disappoint. I'll tell you that. She showed the same thing that she's shown in these previous matches in this qualifying. She's been losing the first set, Juvan, but she's only 19. But for someone of 19, so much fight. She lost 6-1 in the first set, and then the second set she goes 4-0 up. Then she loses 5 games on the bounce, so she's 5-4 down, and then she manages to win the next 3 games and wins it 7-5.
It was a bit of a weird match, wasn't it?
But then in the next set, she took over again. She was I think
before that she had an injury break, didn't she? She had all her leg wrapped up.
I think that's when she was having the banana.
Oh, was that her?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but that's what I mean. And she had the injury; she had her leg strapped up. Vondrousova looks like she was actually really gassing in the third set. She was, I think she was 3-0 down in the third set. She was 4-0 down in the third set, and managed to pull it back to 5-3, 5-4. And you thought
break points.
Yeah, because this is going to happen again.
Had 2 break points then to break back, and it was a really close match, and I really enjoyed watching it. To be fair, it's going to be interesting to see how Kaja does in the next match.
Yeah, so in the next round, playing the winner of Georgie Peterson, which was Camila Giorgi, who went through 2-0.
She smashed her. Very, very confident.
Convincing.
Another Italian. That's what I'm saying. The Italians are smashing it out there. You can't really rule them out.
No, definitely not. Someone else.
What it is. It always happens, doesn't it? Like the home nation do very well.
Someone else.
I'm happy for them.
Some other sort of standout performances I think we should touch on as well. Donna Vekic, obviously back on court. I don't know if you saw her first round match.
I watched a bit of that one because I saw it was posted online.
It was absolutely unbelievable. Like she hadn't stepped off the court once. She's literally just hit the ground running, powering everything, like winner after winner after winner. I just was shocked. And not playing a schmuck on the other side of the court either. It was actually a very good player. She was even like very complimentary to Donna Vekic because she just thought, it's just unplayable in this. Yeah. She just like wiped her off the court.
And on the other side of things, Mladenovic, what I want to bring up, Kristina Mladenovic, what a joke. Honestly, she won the first set 7-5, I think.
Against
then she completely folded.
Is that Alexandrova she was playing?
Yeah, the Russian girl. And then she just completely folded. She got over 20 double faults. What was it, like 6-0, 6-1 or something? 6-1,
yeah, 6-0, 6-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Completely folded, terrible. And she actually got a point violation for spending too long in the toilet. She wouldn't come out the toilet. The umpire rushed her out the toilet. She didn't want to come back.
Maybe she fell down.
She didn't fancy it at all. But mate, to hit that amount of double faults, you got to just at that stage, just get them over, no?
I know.
It's got to be better to at least make them hit winners and you just keep double faulting. I hate watching people give the game away like that. And yeah, I think that's that wrap-up of WTA Palermo. We'll see what happens next. Based off what you've seen so far, do you have anyone who you think... Like, who's your tip now to win it?
Winning it? My selection would probably be... it's got to be between 2 people. We had Donna Vekic, who's been playing unbelievable tennis, and we've had Petra Martic, who is the number 1 seed, and she actually blew Van Utrecht out of the water 6-0, 6-3. So,
oh, really? I didn't actually see that match. I know they was playing. I didn't see the outcome or anything. So
literally, you can see why she's number 1 seed. Like, she's back on the clay. That's her preferred surface. She just dominated. It was just like
she was a favourite, though. People fancied Vondrousova before because, obviously, of her success on clay. She's done incredible previously in the past at the French Open. But she's not really come back to, like you said, she was making so many mistakes.
Yeah, there was
and that would lead nicely. But I think a large part of that was the person she was playing in the 19-year-old Juvan. Yep. And that's why, for me, she's my pick to win. I've had a look at the draw, and she's got a relatively favourable draw.
Oh, yeah.
I think at the end of the day, if she can beat Georgia in her next match, that's going to be a really tough one, playing an Italian girl as well. But then after that, it's either going to be Dodin or Yarmostrina. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like she's got a good shot. And the way she's playing in good form, she's not someone you can rule out for sure. So she's my tip to win anyway. Big underdog, but we'll see how that goes.
So it's definitely a good one.
Before the actual tournament started, I actually thought Bonaventura would have done well. And she went out first round, so...
But the person from watching the matches, Bonaventura, from watching all the matches and just watching the actual hitting, I'd say Donna Vekic, just from watching how well she's hitting the ball. For an outsider, just because people might not be aware, Fiona Ferro is, she's been
really good.
Sneaking. I'm not sure how many games in a row she's won now. She's been playing in this little off season, a lot of games in France. She's now won 11 matches in a row. So she's really been... It's all been on hard court, I believe.
Yeah, but she's really good on clay. I remember last year she went on a good run. I think she won a few tournaments maybe as well.
So she's up against a really tough one next, which is Alexandrova, who we know just completely destroyed Mladenovic 6-0, 6-1 in those last...
I think that was a large part to do with Mladenovic, so. Yeah. And all them double faults, so...
Well, 20, you can't have 20 double faults in a match. I think
it was more than 20. It was 20 at one point. I don't know how it ended. Might have ended in 20.
Unforgivable, I think, that type of amount of double faults. But this is what we see. People are just coming back. There's some upsets to be had. So you're going to be seeing probably a few of these in the men's game as well. So we'll touch on maybe some of that. I don't know if you wanted to speak about. There was another tournament that hasn't really been on the radar of any of the actual new tennis news channels, but Juan Carlos Ferrero has been running a tournament over in Spain.
Oh yeah, mate! I'm glad you brought this up. I do want to talk about this for sure.
Yeah. And obviously, go on. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, the thing is, I've not been able to see any of it.
No,
they don't show you any of the matches. You can't watch any of it anywhere, and you can't even see the results on this app, the flash scores and different things. It's very difficult. You have to literally search online, or predominantly I use Twitter because there's a lot of journalists who report on the matches and stuff. Yeah. So I've just been following it on a results basis. No, not watched any of it. But wow, Carlos Alcaraz Garcia, what a player! He's come back playing on hard, and he's been weird. He obviously had that game against Taberna to kickstart it all, 6-1, 6-1. And we were just singing Taberna's praise the other week on here as well. Yes, then he beat João Sousa. We had a bit of a shaky start to that one. Obviously, João Sousa being top 100, but he lost the first set 6-0, and then he managed to pull through and win the next set. But the most impressive one is Alex de Minaur. He beat Alex de Minaur.
On hard.
In straight sets, was it? Oh, no, it wasn't in straight sets.
No, it was in 3 sets.
I can't give him that, but even still, it's incredible, man.
Yeah, it was...
Alex de Minaur, the demon.
Well, we know how good Alex de Minaur is. We saw him playing against Rafael Nadal in the ATP Cup earlier in the year, and he nearly beat Nadal. So that's how good Alex de Minaur is, and... For Alcaraz Garcia being predominantly a clay court player as well, and this is what he's producing on hard court, I think the future...
But he has really adapted his game, hasn't he? He's been playing well in a lot of tournaments of late, before obviously the whole coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
And that was on hard, and I think he won a tournament as well. Incredible player, man. And the ceiling for him is so high. He's one to look out for to be potentially winning slams in the future, I think.
Well,
because he's got all the assets. He's so young right now, but the way he plays is just incredible, and I just love watching him. He's one of the young guys to watch for sure.
Yeah,
and we've been talking about him on this podcast from the first day we started it, and it's good to see him finally winning stuff and doing well. Granted, we'll get onto it. He did lose the final.
Yeah,
it was a top 30 player. It might even be 20th. I forget now. Carino Busta.
Yeah, Carino Busta. Yeah. So
fair play to him. Well played, man. And it's going to be exciting to see what the rest of 2020 and 2021 brings for him. I think he can go a long way, and I think hopefully he can push into the top 100, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
That's it. When we start getting these ranking points tournaments coming back, and then we can finally see him moving swiftly up the ranking. He moved up to just 318, I think he is at the moment. And I don't think it's going to be long before you see him.
He's a top 100 player for sure.
Oh,
in my opinion.
Easily. And then it won't be long before you see him reaching second, third rounds of ATP events. And then it's a matter of time before he's top 50. And then you'll be seeing him gracing those Grand Slams and really getting deep into tournaments, I think. But it's just about that 5 sets is a whole different animal. So it's probably going to take him a little bit of time to adapt to that side of things. But exciting. And what better than a 17-year-old who's got all the energy in the world to be playing in those type of matches, and especially with his, he's got so much confidence, and he's just doesn't have the nerves. He seems to be able to handle the nerves very well for such a young guy. So it's so promising. Obviously, we know he's been compared to a couple of the big three. So probably leads us on to our new segment again. Big Three Facts.
Big Three Facts.
So on this episode, it's my turn. You did it last week. So I've got a little fact for you, Ben.
Okay.
So instead, I didn't pick any of the big three. So I've literally incorporated all the big three in this one. It's not really a question either. It's just a fact.
That's good. That's what we want.
If anything. So the big three winning percentage after losing the first set. For a start, who do you think is number one on the list?
I'd go with Rafa.
So after losing the first set, who's number one?
I would say Rafa.
Correct. Number two?
Probably Djokovic.
Federer.
Really?
Djokovic is last, yeah.
Oh, wow.
When I say last, it's very close. So Nadal, 42.6% after losing the first set. Federer, 42.2%. And Djokovic, 42.1%.
Oh, so close.
So they're all 42%. You've got Nadal, 0.6, Federer, 0.2, Djokovic, 0.1.
How strange is it that their stats can be...
the ATP win-loss stats ratio thing.
How strange that their stats can be just within 1% of having the same statistic.
Well, in theory, within 0.4%.
It's just crazy. These guys are so closely matched, and just proves it yet again.
You knew it was Rafa number one. What made you think that? It's obviously because of his fight, isn't it? He's the guy behind it, just sort of angers him when he loses the first set. You see him when he goes to the changeover. When he starts the next set, he goes even more erratic with all the, and then he tosses the ball up. It's just so much anger in him. You're kind of scared. The worst thing you can do is beat Rafael Nadal 6-2 first set.
Oof. Yeah, you've got a torrid second set coming. If you then take that first set, you watch him sprint out for that second set and start jumping up and down, and that bicep's going to be pumping throughout every single shot.
Ball, isn't it? He starts moving his feet to and
then
the line of the clay, and
he gets but then everybody goes with him as well. That's the thing. He draws the whole crowd suddenly into that left hand, and then every shot that he whips up that line, it's followed by a big fist pump. The whole crowd gets going. That's what Rafa's appeal is. He just brings that fight. He's the Spanish bull. He's in if he's down,
El Toro.
Yeah, you better watch out if you take that first set. Obviously Robin Haas said, don't even try and play a trick shot against him. That's the worst thing you can do. You're going to end up on the receiving end of a beating.
Yeah, but aside from Rafa, all three of them, to be fair, on 42%. That's incredibly high after losing the first set. The chances of them to still win is 42%.
Which is ridiculous.
On average.
Yeah. Well, it's just
crazy. Which is just incredible, yeah.
I know.
Just shows, like, probably the best way to beat them is by not winning the first set, I thought.
No, surely not.
Do you not think?
I think that's right.
No, but I don't know. I don't know what the stats are for the other ones, to be fair, after them winning the first set and then it evening up in a 3-set match. Is that the best way to beat them?
I don't know. I don't know.
You sort of grow into the game slowly, so they're not really sure where they are.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever.
But then they might be like, then they'll just turn it up anyway. These guys, we're talking like they're like gods at the end of the day in the world of tennis, and they don't act like all the other tennis players. They are subhuman, really, on the court, and it's incredible to watch. I'm just so happy we're in a generation where we get to witness all three of them and just admire them all. Incredible.
Yeah. You got to remember that whenever they're playing a match, they'll be playing a match here. The opponent will be playing here. They're playing at their top level. And then there's another gear just gets kicked in. They go up to here. And then there's just no catching them. They just will literally just whack you off the court.
Yeah. And then Federer, we've not really spoken much about him.
Yeah.
But obviously, he's the king of it all. And there's a story I want to talk about with Federer because I've seen it numerous times, actually. My tennis club sent it to me on a group chat. I saw it on Twitter. And then I was watching the news earlier, and Federer popped up on BBC News. There's a video of him, and so it's that video. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yep.
I did send it to you, or you sent it to me. I forget now. Yeah, it's a really nice story. Federer surprising them 2 girls on the rooftop in Italy.
Yeah,
their faces when they saw him, they were just blown away. But there was something a bit weird with the whole thing for me. It just seems like it's a bit of a commercial. I kept watching it, and it just seemed like it's a commercial or something for a product. And then at the end, as it goes on, they then all sit down and have pasta together. And then it starts. They start promoting Barilla pasta. Did you see that
it's
bit?
a thing for
at the
pasta.
end? That's what I'm saying. So is it real or is it fake? But then on the way the news and everyone's reporting it, it's like this heartfelt story. I was really absorbed and I was watching the whole thing until they started sitting down eating pasta. And then they started doing all these really dramatic sort of shots, which you'd see in like cinema sort of. And it just seemed like it was some kind of trailer, like fake. Like they're 2 actors, two played actors, the girls. And it's like they're promoting this product.
I don't think that's
the way it came. No, but it didn't seem like that at first. That's not how it's been reported. But that's the sort of vibe I got at the end of it. Maybe that's just me.
Mr. Conspiracy.
No, it's not conspiracy. But mate, what's the whole thing again? It just seems a bit weird.
I watched it.
Pasta at the end. Why are they promoting pasta?
I don't know. I didn't know. Like he just said he'd take them out for a bite to eat. It's just nice guy. What are you talking about?
No, you've not seen the bit I'm talking about. I start talking about Barilla pasta, like the brand.
It's his favourite pasta, probably.
No, it was a bit weird. It was a bit weird.
No, you've just got him.
I don't want to believe that. I just want to believe it's all part of it. It was a really nice gesture. And at the end of the day, the girls looked over the moon.
Interesting to see them go back to the same place that obviously that viral video was made. And then Federer starts knocking up on the roof with them. I just thought it was seemed really nice. And I don't know, it seemed to me really heartfelt and an actual heartwarming story. Like it made me a little bit emotional, I have to say. But
it was very well shot. I'll give you that. Like the way it was done, it was like an extremely good production.
Oh, incredible! And just I don't know. I think he has that. I don't know what it is about Federer, but he has something about him which warms people's hearts.
It's an aura, isn't it?
Yeah, he has something. And plus, he just always has that Federer smile, or he comes across like such a nice guy that you can't help but just think, what a great guy after watching something like that.
He definitely has this massive aura around him, though. For me personally, if I was to meet any tennis player in person, to meet him, I would be the most scared. I think I could freeze on the spot. Just like seeing him, it just doesn't. The way I've looked up to him over growing up, it's just it just doesn't feel like a human being to me.
He's like
his
an
whole
alien.
face, everything about him. Yeah, he's like a bit of an alien. So for me, if I saw him in person, I'd freeze. That would finish me off. But hopefully, maybe one day we will.
Remember what Wolf said, Taylor Fritz's physio? He said that there's he'll walk into the players' lounge and everything just goes quiet because all the players are just in awe of him as well. Just says it's just crazy. You just get someone on that level of fame and just like an incredible player. Everybody's just like, can't believe they're in the presence of greatness, I guess.
Yeah, but it's good though. The sport definitely needs it.
Yeah, for sure. We need the next
one guy who's like the face of the sport, as per se.
Yeah.
And we'll see who the next one's going to be.
Well, yeah, for sure. Hopefully we get a new breakout star in this US Open, and that's what we're all hoping for. And then we can start seeing the challenge of the next pack of greats. I'm hoping there's going to be someone who can get into double figures in Grand Slams as well out of this next pack. Never know.
Yeah.
I've thrown my eggs in Alcaraz Garcia's basket pretty early, but I reckon he could have quite a few to his name.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that on the next podcast we'll do later on in the week about our US Open selections. A lot more previewing about that.
Yeah.
Go on, do you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say thanks for everybody who has been subscribing and everything in this pandemic and keeping the channel growing. Just a quick shout out just to another channel that gave us a shout out on their channel. It's Pack Skills, which I'll put their details below. Just go and check them out. One young lad and his family doing some very funny videos and stuff. So yeah, just go and check them out. I'll put that in the thing below. Just good to see some other people making some content and doing some fun stuff during this quarantine. So good for him. Nice one.
Yeah, fair play. Thank you for listening, guys. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.